What's going on, y'all? It's Joe with Cognizant Cards and Collectibles. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Dos Amigos Hobby Hustle podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Daniel, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the podcast, new series.
Let's go. Get it. It's a new episode, new day. It's Joe. You know me. Pokemon collector, sports card collector, hobby store owner. Daniel, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, big time golfer, probably the best in Broward County, Florida. Been collecting my whole life, man. You know, I had an uncle back in the day that owned a hobby shop, and I remember him just blessing me with random things as a kid, you know, and Pokemon, sports, that's it. That's what I'm into now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So tell the people, what are your favorite things to collect?
Oh, man, I like random things, man. I like to collect the stuff that nobody else wants to. Stuff that people pass over in shows, things that are just one-off, kind of obscure, stamped Pokemon cards, rookies from the Dolphins that nobody remembers, man. Just stuff that I like, bro.
Collect what you love. That's the hobby motto for us. Collect what you love. Don't let anybody tell you what to collect or what you should collect. Collect what you love. So speaking about collecting, the Nationals was about 2 weeks ago. I was out there, had a lot of big connections, hung out with my boys at the piece of the game, hung out with my man, Michael Rubin. I got the white party invite. He said I was good, so I'll be there. I'll just make sure to avoid Meek Mill. But I'm going to be hanging out with my boy Tom Brady, though, next year. Tommy, what's up? Yeah, man, the Nationals was awesome. You've been to the Nationals before. You didn't go this year.
Been one time when they were in Chicago.
Nice.
Crazy show.
Back in Chicago next year. Can't wait. Next 3 years back in Chicago. So can't wait. Chicago definitely better than Cleveland, Ohio. Sorry, Cleveland. But it was definitely better than Cleveland. Definitely better than Atlantic City. I don't think anybody would disagree with that one. Yeah, man, Nationals was amazing. I cashed out somebody for nice, decent amount of Pokemon cards. I ended up spending, my budget was about $20K. Ended up spending about $40K. A little bit over budget. And, but when you see some good stuff and we got to fill up 2 stores full of product, It's hard to pass up on it, especially when you're getting a decent deal. He didn't, a lot of people when I go to buy, they don't let you touch certain stuff. They'll say, "Oh, I'll give you this much percentage off, but you can't touch my Charizards. You can't touch my Altarts. You can't touch this." He basically said, "You get whatever you want. Yeah, nothing's off limits. You buy whatever you want. It's a straight percentage off." So shout out to them. I don't remember their name, but they're from Minnesota. Shout out to them for the deal.
You feel like you saw a lot of Pokemon at Nationals?
No, definitely not.
I was gonna say, bro.
Definitely not.
The first time the only time I've been, not a whole lot. Maybe 2-3 tables, maybe, but
yeah, no. Atlantic City was not that great for Pokemon. Chicago was pretty. I thought Chicago was really good. I mean, when I say really good, I mean really good in Nationals terms, not really good overall.
Yeah.
Really good for Nationals terms. Couple of good tables. I had a lot of good deals at Chicago. This time around, though, the deals were. I think everyone could agree that the deals were horrible. Every table you walked up to, I had literally had people like, "Oh, I have a buyer at 90%. If you have a buyer at 90%, why are you here? Why are you here? Because if that's the case, then you shouldn't even be setting up tables if you're not willing to move your product. Yeah. I came across that table on Sunday, so I didn't even see the table. I was there from Wednesday to Sunday, and I was just so busy with everything else that I never even had a chance to see their table. And I finally ran into them on Sunday, and I had a flight to catch. My plane was boarding at 4:15. The deal didn't even close until 4 o'clock. So I literally stuffed my bag. It weighed 500 pounds. Had to rush to the airport. Thankfully, my flight got pushed back. The boarding got pushed back to 4:30. So I made it just with that and TSA pre-check and clear. So
that's a hustle in itself, man. That's a behind the scenes stuff. People, if you don't own a shop, you don't know the hustle that it is to keep inventory in it, man.
It's not easy. It's not easy because it's you kind of need unlimited money when you don't have unlimited money. So you always got to pull something from somewhere else. You're like, man, I got to sell X amount of this now to make sure I have money for this. It's definitely not easy, especially when I'm doing it by myself. Basically,
Yeah,
I have help of you guys and everything in the store, but like money wise, it's just me. So it's not easy. I wish I was really rich, and it would be so much easier because then I'd buy even more stuff. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I wasn't born rich, so I got to keep hustling until then.
Sick.
Hobby hustle, baby. Yeah, man. But Nationals was dope. Wednesday, I got there. I didn't see one table. I literally didn't see one table. I got there. I said what's up to some of my guys. Hung out with my guys at Piece of the Game. Again, shout out David. I hung out with some of the people I know from Tops. Thursday, same kind of concept. I saw some tables, but it was just, and I love vintage. I love vintage baseball, but at some point, it becomes too much.
Yeah, bro.
It becomes too much, and they're like every single table is vintage baseball, and it's like
binders of sets.
like what is this? What are we doing here? Like I always think about like Michael Rubin's comment of 10xing the hobby, and there's no way that'll ever happen at the Nationals, because if I'm bringing my son or if somebody's bringing their kid and their kid is really into like, or maybe trying to get into cards, there's no way they're going to get into cards by every other table is just vintage baseball.
Yeah, no.
And it's not even every other table. It feels like literally 90% of the tables are vintage baseball. And it's like, what are we doing here? We have vintage baseball. We have players that these guys never heard of. Like even Michael Jordan for these kids is like something they've never heard of.
It's almost like
and besides shoes, they just think he makes shoes and that's it.
It's like the whole hobby is trying to dump their vintage baseball, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's every Nationals. It's always and it's great at a certain extent. It's great to have it, but 90% of your table shouldn't be vintage baseball. It's just it's never going to bring that audience that you want, that extra audience. Yeah. That, and then again, the deals. Like if you're there as a dealer and you're not willing to make deals, and like you're telling people like, oh, I won't even give you 5% off. Then what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. Especially in a setting like that. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're there Wednesday through Sunday. You're supposed to be there to make deals, make sales and stuff like that. And you're not even willing to cut any deals if somebody's willing to spend thousands and thousands to wipe you out, of inventory. And then you could just use that money to replenish somewhere else. I don't get it. It is what it is. But I've always taken the Nationals for what it is. It's just a bunch of guys that have been around for 30, 40 years and
bunch of old folks.
They're just stuck in their ways. It is what it is at this point. But yeah, no, I mean, it was great for me for different reasons. Got to meet Michael Rubin, like I said. So that was dope. Had a quote unquote private meeting with him for like 30, 45 minutes. He's loving the content we're pushing. Told him about the podcast. So he's going to be watching this.
Shout out Michael Rubin.
So he definitely loves the fact that we're bringing in a different audience. It's one thing that I've stressed that, like we're in Pembroke Pines right now, and I would say at least 40 to 50% of our walk-in customers, they're Spanish only speakers. I would say 90-something% of them are actually Latino, but at least 50% of them don't even speak English. Facts. And there's no media, there's no content for them. Like sure, like there might be a Spanish person that's making content, but they're saying it in English. They're not actually pushing the Spanish agenda.
Or maybe even like a Reddit channel, or like a Discord channel. Maybe I'm sure they're out there, right? But
it's not being pushed right now.
It's not.
If it exists, it's not being pushed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. There's no momentum behind it. It's just kind of like a secret society.
Yeah. And we're trying to push it to the forefront. Like that, one of the questions that I posed to them is like, how many Spanish and how many Black hobby store owners are there? So they told me there was 2 Black hobby store owners, and as far as Latino, they didn't know of any besides myself, obviously.
Wow, bro.
Like I was like, so like if we have some little kid from Miami or some kid from LA or some kid from New York that they're Spanish and their first language might be Spanish, for them this doesn't even exist, or like they don't feel like they belong because there's no content for them. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to push with the Dos Amigos Hobby Hustle podcast. Like let them know that, even you don't even have to be a hobby store owner, But just know that collecting is cool, and there's other people like you that collect.
1000%.
So that's definitely one thing I pushed to them, and he was loving it. He was, he told me straight up, anything we could do for like tops wise, we're gonna do, and we're gonna help you out. So that's dope. But speaking about next shows, we got in a week, Fanatics Fest.
NYC,
we're coming
I'm
August
excited.
16th through the 18th. So we're gonna be there. We got a booth there. So make sure you check us out there. This is gonna drop actually during the show. So if you're watching this,
Hopefully
check us out.
Fanatics Fest.
Yeah. So it hasn't even been announced yet. But by the time this comes out, this will be announced. I'm running a workshop on Friday from 1:30 to like 2:30, 1:30 to 2 or 2:15, I think is what they told me. So I'm running a workshop with Ryan from Real Sports Cards. He's out in Minnesota as well. So it's me, him, and then Mojo Sports, who's from Cali. So we're doing a workshop on social media.
Nice.
Speaking of social media, so it goes right back to that conversation with Michael Rubin. They're loving the social media content. They were loving the skits that we do with Mr. Red and stuff, and they thought that was hilarious. So then from that, they're like, yo, we feel like you know what you're doing. You know, you have that market you're trying to push to. Let's put you in front of, a couple thousand people at New York. And if you see the arena, I'm going to call it an arena. It looks like I'm coming out in a WWE match. There's literally like jumbotrons in the middle at the top. They got TVs everywhere. There's just chairs everywhere. We're hoping to pack that place. And
Can you show the sketch?
yeah, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. So Fanatics Fest, I think, is gonna be insane.
I'm excited, bro. I don't think I've ever nothing like Fanatics Fest. I think
Yeah,
it's just so outside the box.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what the Nationals should have been doing for years.
Exactly.
Instead of having a bunch of,
More of the same.
vintage baseball, like, where's your stuff that's going to attract the younger generation?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's your stuff that's going to attract the people that maybe not even into cards? And that's what Fanatics Fest is. It's literally, they call it the Comic Con for sports cards. And we'll have Pokemon there. There's going to be other Pokemon vendors. So it's just the Comic Con for cards. So it's not just like, hey, here's a bunch of tables and a bunch of cards. It's, hey, here's tables of cards and stuff, but we're going to have exclusive drops. So they have the Travis Scott cards.
Fire.
They have the Topps Lids cards. They have the Topps Skyline cards where like it has a New York skyline in the back, and there's going to be like a limited of those cards in a Topps Chrome box.
Shout out to Topps, man. I really like that Travis Scott collab.
That thing's sick.
Talking about like bringing people into the hobby that aren't part of, or maybe they're not collectors. Like Travis Scott's got a huge following, man. That's a whole group of people they're bringing into the hobby there. I saw some pictures of the cards online. Pretty fire, bro.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a double-edged sword because it's going to bring people that, that are just genuinely interested in it. But obviously it's going to bring people that are going to buy it just to resell it.
Resell it, yeah, for sure.
But listen, that's the way the hobby works. That's what every hobby is. It doesn't matter if you do sports cards or if you do Pokemon cards or if you do shoes, if you do comic books. If there's an exclusive drop and it's only dropping in certain place and certain amount of drops, people are going to resell it.
Absolutely.
It is what it is. That's just the way it works, man. If you really want it, make sure you go out to Fanatics Fest. It's only one per person, and you got to win it. So it's gonna be exclusive anyways. Yeah. And if somebody's actually willing to pay for a ticket to go to New York, or if they're from New York and they're willing to go and pay for a ticket to get in and do all that, and they win it, then who's to tell them that they can't resell it?
1000%.
They're gonna it's gonna probably sell for a lot of money.
I'm sure it will, bro.
It's gonna sell for a ton of money. But I can't fault somebody for doing it, because if you're willing to spend your time and your money and chance to get it, and you get it, by all means, that's
And if
you really want it, then get it.
Yeah.
But that's gonna drop. The Lids is gonna drop. I love the fact that all the I don't know if you saw the map, but all the leagues are gonna be there. So like the NFL is gonna be there, the NBA is gonna be there, UFC is gonna be there, and it's not just like, hey, here's some people at a table from the UFC, go talk to them. They're bringing the octagon in there, so you can literally go in the octagon and just do whatever you got to do.
Wild.
So then, like NFL, I heard you're going to be able to run the 40-yard dash and they're going to clock you.
That's fire.
NBA, you're going to be able to like shoot basketballs. Like it's not just like, again, it's not just a card show. It's like, yeah, we have cards here, but check all this other stuff out that you might not be interested in cards yet, but we're going to try to get you into the cards. So I think that's, no one does it like Fanatics does it. They're thinking above and beyond just like your
Outside
regular
the box,
card show.
bro, just trying to make changes.
Yeah,
Shout out to
and
them
I
for
see a
doing
lot of
it.
people like try to hate and say, oh, Fanatics this, Fanatics that. Fanatics is the only one in the last 2-3 years that's been innovating stuff.
Yeah.
Because before Fanatics, it was just a regular, like, okay, here's a new set, here's the cards. They brought debut patches. Debut patches to me are insane. You know, like, who would have ever thought, like, you would be able to actually get the debut patch of the first game of that player that you're really chasing or you really like. So, Ellie debut patch is coming this year for Update Chrome. Jason Dominguez coming. You know, I don't know if Jackson Holiday will be in this year's or maybe next year's. Probably next year's.
Somebody finally hit the Volpe from last year.
Somebody hit the Volpe. That's 150 grand right there, you know? So, like, there's, like, stuff like that I think is super dope. You know, you had mixed reactions on the Tom Brady stuff. Some people liked it. Some people don't. But it's just cool. I think I like the innovation from it. And then especially, again, like the Fanatics Fest. I'm a big believer in the Fanatics Fest. They're going to do 3 this year. So we got this one coming up in New York, which is their big one. They call it their marquee one. You got a smaller one coming in September. It's going to be at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. So they're renting out the actual baseball stadium, and they're going to take over. That one's strictly going to be a card show. So like they're going to have some celebrities there, but it's just going to be like Pittsburgh celebrities. So they're going to keep it local. But it's mainly focused for a card show. And then we got the one in Orlando, November 1st through the 3rd, which we'll definitely be at. And that one is going to be their second biggest show. So they're expecting like 100,000 plus at New York. They're expecting like 50,000 at Orlando, which is still a lot because that's more than Collecticon. Collecticon only did 35, I think, this year. So if they're expecting 50, and they already told us that they're looking to get like college football stars and retired college football veterans, Hall of Famers and stuff like that. And especially focus on the Florida athletes for that Orlando show. So that should be dope too. Cool. But yeah, man, Fanatics Fest. We plan on doing content all throughout the show for sure. Definitely looking forward for the food. For those that don't know, we are definitely big food people here. Yeah. You gotta love the food. We love the exotic drinks. You
what
got
better
that 7-Up.
place than New York City too for food? And
Yeah,
snacks,
man.
bro.
I'm not a big fan of the city for
I love the city. The
for
street food.
a lot of stuff like the trash and the rats. They could keep that, but the food, I can't lie, man. New York has probably second to none in the States food, and then variety.
Well, you talk about New York City, bro. It's just such a melting pot. You know what I mean? There's food from all over the place, literally on one block. You know?
Yeah. We definitely going. We going to some spots for sure.
Excited for that.
We'll be vlogging some food. We'll be vlogging. We'll be visiting some stores up there. Probably hit up Bleecker. Hit up any other stores up there. We'll check that out. I want to go to Bodega, but we're gonna have to go to Jersey, and we're not gonna have time.
Shout out Bodega, man. What a cool concept that store, bro.
Yeah, Bodega's
such a cool.
I remember the first time I saw them a couple years ago when they bought the Bodega or they took over the Bodega. I was like, yo, that is so dope.
Yeah, so
and then
cool,
like
man.
their slabs are inside of the like our fridge here. Their slabs are inside the fridge. I'm like, that's insane. That concept is insane. I love it. I love it.
Talk about catering to your local market, like.
That's hilarious. Yeah. It's dope. It's so dope to see. I'm sure they'll be out there at Fanatics Fest. They got to. It's basically like home base for them too. Plan on seeing a lot of our boys for sure. We just saw them at the National, so we'll see them again at a Fanatics Fest. So that should be dope. And then from there, the rest of the year. We'll be talking on this podcast about everything sports, everything hobby related. So got a lot of, in the store, we're big on One Piece. We're big on Pokemon. We're big on sports, obviously. We're direct with everybody. So the only company we're not direct with, we won't name, but they start with an upper and they end with a deck. And that's just because of personal reasons. I'm not a fan. I like the Marvel stuff, but they could keep everything else.
I've never been impressed, man.
Yeah, no, I've always said, and this is not to crap on them, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'll never have them. But I'm not a fan how they don't make the best product. And when I say they don't, I mean they make the worst product and they have the most rules. Like, you can't post on your website. Like, if I buy the product from you, you're telling me I can't sell it on my own website. That to me is insane. They don't allow breaking of the product. And this is all like within the first 90 days. Yeah. And you can't break it. You can't post on your website. You can't sell overseas. So like I can't even sell to Canada. There's just so many rules, and the product is super mid. You know, we just won the Stanley Cup here, and literally the arena is like 10 minutes away from here. But it's not like I get an overabundance of people that are like, oh my God, I want hockey here. Yeah. It's just not, you know, it's just not something that's really big here. So for me, it's like, why am I even going to carry this? So I'm just going to have a bunch of stock that I can't sell and I can't post on the website for 90 days. And then after the 90 days, no one's going to care about it. Yeah. So it is what it is. But we're direct with Topps. We're direct with Panini, Pokemon. We do One Piece, obviously. We do Lorcana. So this podcast is going to be overall, basically of all the hobby. We talk about shoes here. We love shoes. We got the Jordans on. It's just an overabundance of love of hobbiness, basically.
Yeah, everything. Full circle. You know, not just one thing
We love art too. But check the art in the back.
Yeah, man. All of it included.
Yeah, man. So make sure you guys check us out. We'll be filming the next episode probably from the hotel room, you know, or we'll figure out something at Fanatics Fest. We'll probably get there early and just start filming.
Maybe we'll try to do it at the table there. It'd be cool.
Yeah, we could do it at the table. Yeah, we could just set up. We'll get there early before everybody else and then just start filming. So that works too. And we can have the backdrop of Fanatics Fest.
Yeah, it'd be fire.
So make sure you guys tap in with us. Our next episode, we'll be talking a little bit more about NFL season coming back. So we got NFL coming back, college football. We're big college football people around here.
Football in general, man. It's so exciting. Best time of the year.
We got the Olympics going on right now. Yeah. So we got, right now they're talking about college football, but we got the Olympics going on. So we got USA versus France. Who you got?
Come on, man.
All right, just checking. I might have to fire you. We got USA going on. USA versus France for men and women's. So we rooting for the men and the women for Team USA for basketball. We got USA versus Brazil for the women's soccer. So that should be dope. Brazil has been getting their ass whooped the last couple of times by USA. So we're hoping to continue that streak.
Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, we continue that streak. Sorry to my son. My son's like 12.5% Brazilian. So sorry, but you 100% American, baby.
While we're talking about the Olympics, man, shout out Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, this
you
guy.
See that? Did you catch any of that?
This guy, golfer
shot
extraordinaire.
The best round of his life to take the gold medal.
Yeah,
shout out Scotty, man.
That was sick. That was sick. So yeah, man. Check us out. Next episode. Like, comment, subscribe. You got anything? Last words?
Nah, man. But plug in. Check us out. Got some ideas? Throw them at us. Open to it.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Until next time, Fanatics Fest. We're coming hard, baby. Let's go. Let's get it.